Hi, my name is Jake, and you're watching Dirt Floor Dad. As you can see behind me, we do have some animals on our property. Got some goats. We also got some chickens that are flying around as well. The thing with animals is that you got to keep them watered during the winter. And for us right now, all that we have for water is a garden hose or 5-gallon buckets carried back and forth until their water is full. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a nice, cheap, easy way to bury some water lines and how to keep it from freezing throughout the winter. First, we gotta get this out of the way so that we can get that out and start digging our trench. Before we do that though, there are a couple things that I need to gather up so that we can get started. There we go. And this. Let's get this moved. Now look at this. So digging a trench by hand with a shovel is not really the funnest thing. If you've ever tried it, you know that it sucks. But one of our houses that we were at had a little hand plow. You can hook a rope to it, which is why we grabbed the D-ring and the rope, so I can hook the rope to the plow. I'll have someone sitting on a lawnmower pulling the plow while I guide the plow and control the depth of it. Before I do that though, I need to pull out the hose that we buried originally out to our garden, and then we'll get ready to start putting the new one in.
Sorry that happened.
Now that we got that ripped out, we're gonna grab the lawnmower with the plow and we're gonna redo our trench and then circle back over towards our goat pen. So let's get this hooked up quick. Now that we got that hooked up, we're gonna have my lovely helper Owen pull the lawnmower forward so we can get hooked up to the plow. Please forgive me for the shaky footage, as I'm still learning how to get stable footage without using a tripod. Not always too easy when the ground is wet and you got turf tires on the lawnmower. But now we got our trench dug, so we're gonna go back to the beginning, start laying in our water line and putting the sod back on. At this point, I actually realized that we didn't finish plowing out the corner over here, so we're gonna get that quick and enjoy a little bit of excitement with turf tires on wet ground again. Matthew 13:3-9. And he told them many things in parables, saying, The sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they had not much soil, and immediately they sprang up, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell upon thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil, and brought forth grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears, let him hear. Being firmly planted in our faith helps us through trials as they come our way.
Full throttle!
Thanks, Colt.
Let's get our hose and start getting ready to lay it in. As I was pulling the water line off from the spool, it keeps the water line kind of spooled up the whole time as you're pulling it out. So I'm just rolling it out and helping it straighten out, lay down a little bit flatter on the ground. So it's a new day today, and as you can tell, I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it's a lot colder out today than it was yesterday. Let's get back to burying these lines and get this section finished up. I'm running the water line over by our garden, but I'm not going to finish it this year. Come springtime, I'm going to tie into that line and run a fitting into our garden so that we can have water during summer without having a garden hose running across our yard. All right, as you see, we got it all laid in. Now we got to get a couple tools so that I can put the fittings on quick, get everything hooked up, and test it out for the first time. Let's go get some tools. Got a screwdriver, got our pipe cutter. Now let's go to the other end and get the other fitting on. I'm gonna leave this end long for now until I get the final rendition done. If you haven't noticed, it's kind of snowing, so I'm ready to just get this project finished up. That way we at least have water out here when it starts getting even colder than it is now. All right, so now that we got that done, I'm gonna get a hose hooked up so that we can reach our other water bin, because that's actually around the corner back here. We got our hose hooked up. Now I'm gonna have my runner run up to the house, turn the valve on, and just show that it works. And we got water. Now that everything's all hooked up, we're down in the basement for the final part. So down here, all that I'm going to be doing is tying into my outdoor water line, which I've actually done already. I'm just going to show you what I've done. And putting in a T with another shutoff valve and an air compressor fitting so that when I'm done running my water, I come down here and I shut the valve off, hook up the air compressor, and it blows the line out. That way there's no water in the line to freeze, because as you saw, the water lines were only 4 inches, 2 inches below the surface. So up here is the main shutoff for the outdoor water. Here is the T. Here's my new shutoff for the air line. And then this is a little fitting that hooks up to my air compressor. With the air compressor hooked up, all I do now with this one off is I just take and open this one up and it starts blowing the air or water out. As you saw, there is a little bit of work that's involved in running these water lines like this, but for roughly $200, it's a lot cheaper than having an excavator brought in or a trencher brought in and paying somebody a couple grand to run 300 feet of water line 6 feet down. Now, to be honest, one day I do hope to be able to have that set up because it's just a lot more efficient. But in the meantime, this is the system that we're going to be using throughout winter. That way we don't have to keep carrying buckets back and forth. Because here in Wisconsin, it does tend to get down to 0 degrees or 10, 20 below zero. I want to thank you all for watching and following along with this video. God bless you and have a great rest of your day.